Dickinson High School to the community means an incredible amount. Dickinson High School has been around for obviously many years, and the community has a noted priority of providing quality education for the children of the community of Dickinson. And that's been going on since the early 20s, and I don't see that ever changing. That's one of the big positives of the community of Dickinson. Kids look after each other, they help each other out. Many times if there's a tragedy in the family, kids will get together, student council, other organizations have fundraisers, but they look after each other very, very much so. And it's very interesting, back in the early 1900s, when the high school was built, from about 1906 till 1930, the enrollment was increasing every 4 years about 50 to 60%. Well, in the 30s, because of the economic depression and the Great Depression, the property valuation was going to be devalued at 50%, which meant that the school was going to lose $22,000. And what happened in the fall of 1932, an elementary school was closed and staff members' salaries were cut by 5%. Well, Superintendent Berg and the board felt even though times are tough, a new high school needed to be built. So Superintendent Berg asked, this was in 1932, asked the public for a $110,000 bond issue to pass. His rationale was, number one, the enrollment increased so dramatically and continued to increase, which was causing overcrowded at the high school. Classes were just too crowded with students. Education was changing, and he needed to and wanted to update the facilities to meet that changing education. Lo and behold, during the Great Depression, they passed that bond issue. Almost 78% of the people voted yes. And I think that is just a legacy that continues to grow in the community of Dickinson. Education's always been a priority, and I think this is going to be no different with this bond referendum coming up in May. We just don't have enough space, and the enrollment figures are going to grow every year. Creative thinking, critical thinking skills, communication, cooperation. We look to work more in groups. We look to be more cooperative, and that our lack of space really inhibits us to do that type of thing. And along with that is the growing aspect of technology is so huge that we're simply running out of different areas to do that in the school. And the school's done a great job. It's been here over 50 years. So it's really done its work. Well, now it's time to update and go on to the 21st century. My daughter went to school in Dickinson Public Schools for 13 years. When I first moved here, she was in kindergarten, and she graduated 2 years ago in 2017. What drew me to Dickinson, the community of Dickinson, was their value in education, the small town feel. People cared for each other, they helped each other out, and there were so many things for a kid in high school to be involved in. You could find your niche. I don't care if it was sports, fine arts, with music, speech, drama, all those type of things. Students could find their niche. And the close-knit community of the high school and the community was just a big draw for us and very important. And my daughter is now a sophomore in DSU and doing very well. I would like people to continue the legacy that was started way back during the Great Depression, when they actually voted a bond issue to finance a new high school, and times were as difficult as any times in the history of the United States during the 30s. I would like to see that legacy to continue, because I know the value that the people of Dickinson put on education, and I know that they will continue to do that. The referendum, the bond referendum, is May 7th, 2019. We encourage and invite you to vote, and we encourage you to vote yes to continue the legacy of providing quality education for our children, even during the most difficult of times.